Welcome to the Thrift Store Kitchen Review, where I test all the weird junk from the thrift store so you don't have to. Welcome to today's edition of the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. If you watched last week's video, you saw our test of a machine that was essentially a rotating Belgian waffle maker that makes bundt cakes. Well, one thing we do not have a shortage of here is kitchen equipment that makes a version of a food. It's never quite the same, but it basically sacrifices correctness for convenience. And guess what? I have another one of these this week. Here I have the miniature donut maker by Bella Cucina, and I picked this one up at a Goodwill in Roswell, Georgia for only $8.99. Now, before I get to unboxing the donut maker, first I'd like to thank all subscribers and viewers for your support. I'd like to go ahead and invite you to smash the like button and go ahead and subscribe so we can keep bringing you more reviews and content. If you haven't seen, we also have a very large shorts section, and we're also on TikTok now. Our goal is to get the channel monetized, and by doing that, we'll be able to not only keep bringing you content, but we'll be able to reinvest in the channel. First thing I'd like to get is a better camera, so I'm not filming off my phone anymore. And then I would also like to be able to invest more into the items that we review. Get some more expensive things, maybe some more vintage items, maybe even some commercial grade stuff. So let's go ahead and get to unboxing the donut maker. This thing is brand new in the box, still has the styrofoam, still has the plastic. This does not want to come out. There it goes. Get the styrofoam out of the way. It has the manual. It's in English, French, and Spanish. And in here it has all your standard warnings, directions, and some recipes. The machine itself, it's funny because the brownie maker we reviewed a couple weeks ago comes from the same manufacturer, and it has basically the same style of art on the outside. Plugs right here. You open this up, got a little latch right here, and it has 7 non-stick miniature donut plates. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get the ingredients together, and I'm going to follow the instructions in the manual to make some donut batter, and we're going to test this and see how these come out. I've gone ahead and gotten the old KitchenAid set up. Now it's time to prepare the donut batter according to the manual. It describes this as the basic donut recipe. So first I need to add my solids, which is going to be 1 cup of flour, half a cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Then, before adding the liquid ingredients, it says to combine the solids. So let me just stir those up real quick. And then we add the liquids, which is going to be half a cup of milk, 1 egg, and then 4 tablespoons of oil, which I've already measured out. After that, we add about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now that all that's together, we turn the mixer on and let it go for a couple minutes. All right, I've gotten the machine heated up, it's cleaned up, and I've prepped it. The manual did say before making it to basically take some cooking oil and rub it all over the surface. I've done that. So now we're going to go ahead and open it up. it did say to put just short of a tablespoon of batter in each of the cups. Now, what I don't like about when I have to preheat the machine and then fill it is the fact that, number one, once you start filling it, it's basically a race against time. And even then, the ones you put in are going to cook faster than the ones you put in at the end. So I'm going to hurry and get these things filled. And see, look at that. It's hard to even get it where it's not covering the center of the donut. So these donuts might not exactly come out looking like donuts, but we're going to do our best. Then the last one. All right, now I'm going to get this closed. Now, it did say until the light turns off and back on, but the light turned off a few minutes ago and it never there it goes. Now it's come back on. It also said in the manual, in addition to the light, you can just check it at 2 or 3 minutes. So it's basically just giving you multiple sets of instructions. So in about 2 minutes, we're going to check our donuts. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes. Let's take a look. Go ahead and... yeah, they definitely could use about another minute. As soon as I tried to pick that one up, you could see there was still liquid batter in the center. So I'm going to let it go for probably about another minute. Okay, it's been about another minute. Let's take a look. I'm going to use the end of this plastic spoon to pull it out so I don't damage the non-stick. Yeah, they definitely feel about done now. I mean, they look okay. I was getting worried because you could smell burn from this machine, but that's probably because it's the first time it's been used. So this is just the first batch. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it because I have an idea for the second one that actually might make this one a little bit better. But yeah, you can tell. I mean, look at the variance in color. You can tell which ones went in first and which ones went in last. Now, before I top these donuts at all, I do want to try one just to see how it tastes, how the texture is. I mean, it's not bad, but it's more like little cakes than donuts, and that recipe is just way too sweet. But what I'm going to do for the first batch to top them is I'm going to place them in this plastic container, and then have some cinnamon sugar right here. Just gonna pour some of that in, get plenty in there, put the lid on the container, and shake them up. I think I shook those a little too hard. I busted those apart good. I probably should have let them cool just a little longer. But regardless, let me try one of these. I mean, it's not too bad with the cinnamon sugar, but yeah, these, not impressed so far. But I'm going to let the machine cool down for a few minutes, and then we're going to make the next batch. Okay, so I've gone ahead and gotten the machine set back up. Now, what I've done in order to ensure that they cook evenly, every single one of these devices heats up ridiculously quickly anyway. So I didn't plug it in. I went ahead and filled the plates with the donut batter. Now I'm going to close it. I'm going to plug it in, and then in about 4 minutes, I'll give it a check and see if they came out any better than doing it the intended way. Okay, so it's been 4 minutes. Let's take a look at the donuts. Ooh, yeah, that doesn't look very good. Let me feel those. Yeah, those are ready. Let me go ahead and unplug it. And I didn't think they'd be this ready by now, but I'm going to go ahead and get a plate. Okay, well, so much for that theory, because almost every single one of these burned in some way, shape, or form. That one looks okay. That one looks okay. The rest of these, just no. So I've got enough batter for probably one more batch of these, if that. So I'm going to go ahead and spray the machine one more time and give these way less time cooking. Those burned ones I'll probably just throw out. Try to do this as quickly as possible. And these I'll check in probably about 2 minutes. All right, time to open the machine. Yeah, well, most of these look good. That one up front seems to have burned a little, but not as bad as that last batch. So let me just go ahead and get these out as quick as I can. Go ahead and unplug the machine. Close this up. I can already tell you right now, this thing is not going to be a keeper. All right, and then instead of the cinnamon sugar from last time, what I've done, I've gone ahead and made a glaze out of sifted powdered sugar and a little bit of water. I'm going to go ahead and pour it over the donuts. Get some of the icing on all of these. All right, and let me give one a try. I mean, if that batter recipe wasn't already sickeningly sweet enough, this thing just cranks it up to the next level. Alrighty then, so I'm going to clean the donut maker up, and then we're going to give this thing its final test. I've gotten the donut maker plugged back in and ready to go. Now it's time to see if it's useful for anything whatsoever and find out, will it glizz? So let me go ahead and open it up. Just gonna lay the hot dog right across, close the lid, and let it cook. So if you watched my video a couple weeks ago on the brownie maker, I kind of gave a little bit of a glimpse of what's going to be going on with the next couple months. As I said, November and December are my two busiest months of the year. I work, I'm a dad, I have stuff to do. So while I've been pretty punctual with getting these videos out, I really can't promise that that's going to happen over the next couple months. So, like I said, we might not get a full video out every week, but there will be content if you follow us on TikTok and check out our short section, and I'll try to at least get something out. And the good news is, when I do get some stuff out, I got some real big ticket items coming up soon that we're going to be filming episodes about. So it's been in there for about a minute. Let's see how it's looking. All right, got some rather interesting looking grill lines on there. Let me flip it on its side, get more of that dog, close it, and we'll check it again in a few minutes. All right, time to take our next look. Oh yeah, that's looking good. That's a rather interesting looking hot dog. Let's turn it at a different angle, see what we can get these grill lines looking like. Should be about time to check it again. See what it looks like now. Oh yeah, look at that thing. Those are the most interesting looking grill lines I've ever seen. Let's keep it going. One more run in the donut maker. I think this will be ready to eat. All right, let me open this up one last time. Oh yeah, look at that hot dog. That is one cool looking hot dog. At least this thing can do one thing right, make interesting looking hot dogs. That is definitely done inside, so let me take a bite. Not bad. Makes better hot dogs than it makes donuts. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this, and then I will be back to give you my final verdict on the Bella Mini Donut Maker. So what is my final verdict on the Bella Cucina Mini Donut Maker? Well, let me preface it by saying, first, you have kitchen appliance companies that are higher end and focus on building straight quality, such as Zojirushi. Then you have companies that build just really cool and innovative products, say like Ninja or Instant. Then you have ones that have been around forever because they just produce consistent mid-grade quality, like Hamilton Beach. Then on the bottom end, you have these companies that just pump out this cheap novelty garbage, like Nostalgia and Bella. Now, how does a company doing this succeed? Well, they're making the product for next to nothing, so they're able to wholesale it for next to nothing. So say like Walmart, Target, whoever will buy a bunch of them at a cheap wholesale price, get a few of them out the door at full price around the holidays or something. A lot of them end up going to clearance, but because they bought them so cheap, they still made their profit. Is this the worst item I've tested? No, that would go to the George Foreman 360 because that item was so unsafe with how it was built you could barely use it. Would it be the worst unitasker, aka a single-use item that I've tested? No, that would go to the original hot dog toaster that we tested in our first video. A product so bad that it inspired the Will It Glizz section that we do in pretty much all our videos, just to show that literally anything could do a better job of cooking a hot dog. But the fact that we're even mentioning this machine in the same sentence tells you exactly how bad it is. It has one job. It doesn't even do that right. The recipe for the donut batter in the manual was disgusting. It was so just sickeningly sweet. Then you have the fact that the manual wasn't even well written. It couldn't even give you an accurate description as to whether the light coming on and off meant that the food was done. It said that it did, but then it told you, oh, just, watch it, give it 2 or 3 minutes. So you really didn't know what to do. And in that case, I'm just like, you know what? I don't need your stupid light. I'm just gonna time it myself. The donuts that came out were burnt, unevenly cooked, just absolutely terrible. Didn't taste like donuts, didn't have the texture of donuts, and the way this is set up, you can barely even get the correct shape of the donuts because it's nearly impossible to actually pour the batter in a way where the center, where the hole's supposed to go, doesn't get covered. So yeah, this thing is completely useless, and I'm just going to get rid of it. I'll send it right back to another thrift store where it can be somebody else's problem. Well, thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. Be sure to subscribe, follow us on the Facebook linked in the description below, follow us on TikTok as well, also linked in the description below. Be sure to tell your friends about us, get out there and support your local thrift store, and have a wonderful day.